It's done. The week is done. I just got home and I'm exhausted. I'm so beyond exhausted. We did a full day today till 4 o'clock in the hospital, and then Gabe dropped me off at the airport, and I flew across the country to San Francisco. It took an hour Uber, and I just got home, and it's 1 a.m. New York time. Oh, I'm exhausted. I'm running on fumes. I'm gonna throw all my stuff in the laundry and decontaminate and shower and go to bed, but I want to get this. I just want to get some of this stuff while it's fresh. I'm gonna summarize the whole thing. I'll think about it more tomorrow, but it was bittersweet to leave today. I mean, on the one hand, I need a day off. It's been a good, rewarding, and really emotionally draining, difficult week. I'm definitely glad I did it, but bittersweet. I really enjoyed doing it with Gabe. I'm going to miss him and our routine of, going to work together and hanging out and watching the Jordan documentary. It's always sad to say goodbye to people you're working with and the residents. My heart is with so many of these patients. There was a nice victory today. We've got 3 people that have been talking about it all week, that have gotten over the hump. They're out of the woods, but they're still stuck needing a couple 2 to 4 liters of oxygen because their oxygen sat drops, especially when they get up and walk. And one of them was better today. He was off oxygen. His shortness of breath was better. He was able to walk, didn't need it, so he went home. So that was like another one of these satisfying victories where you're doing everything and sometimes nothing happens for a couple few days. People don't recover, and you're waiting for their body to get better, and he did today, and that was a real pleasant, nice surprise. My heart continued to get tore out with just more and more suffering of people that are dying and having everything done to them in the process. I'm too tired to even go there right now. As a doctor, my responsibility is to the patient and their health and their experience and their suffering, and I don't even want to talk about it. So we wrap things up, take our last couple pictures, and drive out. Say goodbye to Gabe at the airport. Even though the airport's empty, somehow TSA managed to take 30 minutes for me to get through security. It's like, you guys, there's nobody here. There's in the whole C terminal at Newark, New Jersey airport, there was I don't know, 8 United flights the whole day, yet it took 30 minutes to get through. I'm like, you guys, come on. This is ridiculous. Airport wasn't as ghost town empty as before. The flight was, there were, wow, my brain is just, I'll tell you this, while I'm in my obvious brain, whatever this thing is, but, so when I get sleep deprived like this, I told you that story where I woke up outside, I sleepwalk, and I woke up outside the room in my underwear and had to go down and get a new key because I'd locked myself out of the room at 3 or 4 in the morning, whenever that was. Well, last night I had a similar thing, but in this one, so the drapes to the room were open, and there's a lot of lights outside the hotel room, and one of them, so I wake up in the middle of the night again, and I'm just delirious, and one of them looks like, to me, it's pointing right at me, like a spotlight, and I start to get paranoid. I'm like, did somebody rob me? Are they shining the light in here because they're going to take my stuff. Where's my computer? Where's my phone? And then I scramble out of bed, and there were two kinds of curtains. So I I put my arms out and I close the two curtains. And then there's another one that one's like the thin veil curtain you could see through. And I was like, no, we need 100% darkness in this. We need to protect from these guys can't know what I'm doing in here. I'm doing anything but sleeping. So then I try to pull on the curtain, the other curtain down, but it doesn't move her. You have to use the chain. So I use the chain and I move the chain 3/4 of the way down. And I lay back in bed. I'm like, no, they can still see me. I think they're moving the light. And I am completely paranoid. Wasn't anybody trying to. It's like I was going psychotic because I was so damn tired. Good Lord. So I get up to give them my ticket to get on the plane. It doesn't work. And there's a few of these people holding signs. It was nice. They made an announcement for everybody that came to help. Thank you very much. And there's this lady there holding a sign, kind of a thank you to the healthcare workers, the frontline workers, which was nice. And when my ticket didn't work, they said, here, no, we have to give you a new ticket. And it was first class. They had upgraded me to first class because they knew that I was a healthcare worker that had come to New York to volunteer. And I thought about it. I've never sat first class in my life. Today was the first time that I'd ever, enjoyed first class. And what did I do? I slept half the time. I didn't even I got one of those little bottles of wine, but I didn't even drink it. But that was really nice. That was kind of a nice, little perk for coming out here to volunteer. My Uber lady, the flight had 80 people on it, 80 passengers on a 300 passenger flight. So that was not as empty as the other one before. And it does seem like first class was all full, and it seems like things were kind of slowly. My Uber driver said she had been previously, a week or whatever ago, she had been waiting 5 hours just to take one person home from the airport, and today she waited 2 hours. She waited 2 hours for me. God bless her. Give her a tip. And this is the other thing that I'm going to talk about. So, I'm exhausted and I need to recover, and I've just been, stressed, not eating great. I'm looking forward to doing food prep tomorrow and getting out and riding my bike and exercising and getting outside and sleeping in and taking care of my body, which got beat up this week. But there's an excitement and a thrill to working in that hospital in the middle of Corona. I mean, it reminds me of The Hurt Locker, that movie. I mean, it just reminds me of the adrenaline of these kinds of things. And predictably, after being in that environment for a week, getting removed from it, and then coming back home, and I'm ready to be home, but it's a little depressing. There's a reentry adjustment that it's hard. There's a cost to all this stuff. I haven't seen my daughter in months, and now's not exactly a time to meet somebody. Nobody's dating. It's not easy to be single and quarantined. And there's, so I get a phone call today or yesterday, that, like everybody else, work is cutting our pay. And this thing was volunteer. I'm glad I did it, but it's like, shit, I gotta get back to work. I can't afford to do this. Got a mortgage. I mean, I'm glad I did it, and so I'm returning to the stress of real life to the reality of my own quarantine to the cost of doing this. So going to a hot zone like New York, nobody wants to be around me. That nobody wants to get, that's appropriate. But it sucks for me, and now the adrenaline and the adventure is over. And I've got bills to pay like everybody else, and, a bunch of bullshit that I dropped and was avoiding a week ago and just threw myself into this incredible experience that I'm glad I did it, but now it's back to reality. Now it's back to reality. And that's where we're at. I don't have a bad life. This isn't a bad reality. But it's change. Feeling like you're doing something great and on the front lines, and I'm kind of coming back to doing my laundry and paying my trash bill that I don't want to deal with, figuring out what the hell I'm going to do if work is reduced by, if our pay is reduced by whatever percent. Wondering when I'm going to see my daughter again. How I'm going to survive this monastic period of quarantine. Yeah, I think I just need to go to bed. What else do I want to say today? We had, there are stories of, how to put this in perspective for the non-medical people, but you take nursing, for example, and to be an ICU nurse is a specialty. It takes additional training out of nursing school. ICU nurses are great. They're smart. It's hard work. They have to be on top of a lot of things, and keeping a close eye on patients, using very powerful medications, titrating them, managing vents. And, I've heard cases where the ICU is full, and so patients that need critical care nursing end up staying on the floor, staying on a regular med-surg floor, where normally that's a very different kind of nursing. And I witnessed a case today where, again, a patient respiratory status abruptly changed, and we escalated oxygen. They went from, up to, from nasal cannula and a mask to a BiPAP, that ventilation without being intubated, and then that didn't work. The patient almost arrested, but was able to get intubated, and the ICU was full. There was no bed, there was no room, so the patient had to stay on the floor. And I remember saying to the nurse, I was like, how are your critical care nursing skills? And she's like, they're no good. And I'm like, you can do this. And you have to do this because we have no other choice. It's just not an ideal situation, but what are you going to do? I think she did a great job, but that's way outside of her comfort zone. And that's the reality of this thing even still. And they're decompressed to what they were before. It's nothing like it was before, but what do you do when it's full? You gotta you do your best to take care of people. And the patient was fine. She did do a good job, and we were able to get him stabilized. But I don't know that I've ever seen that before in my career, where an ICU level patient has been on the floor because essentially the ICU is full. New York is certainly the peak, past the peak, and not overflowing like they were before. You know, you see the United States Navy hospital pulling out. You see these, you know, makeshift ICUs kind of closed, but by no means is the hospital back to regular numbers. What else happened today? Like I said, I don't want to talk about them. I do want to talk about the ones that continue to suffer, but I don't want to do it right now. I can't take it. It's going to finish me off.